Hello Internet, trusty Phil Brown here again with another movie review for this week. This week I'm taking a look at The Trip to Italy. It's a film that fits into the summer season in that it is a sequel, yet is completely unlike any other summer movie in every other sense, in the best possible way. The last film was called The Trip. It was directed by Marco Winterbottom, starred the excellent British comedians Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan, playing loosely fictionalized versions of themselves in which they drove around England, went to various restaurants, bickered with each other, chatted with each other, and traded off some amazing impersonations of celebrities like Michael Caine. The sequel is pretty much the exact same thing, except this time it's in Italy. There are small semblances of a plot in that Coogan is dealing with the fact that a fictionalized American TV show he supposedly starred in has been canceled, and he also attempts to reconnect with his son. While on the other side of the equation, Rob Brydon is dealing with an ineffectual wife over the phone, which leads to him having an affair with an English woman in Italy that he's extraordinarily guilty about, and at the same time, he also lands a role in a Michael Mann film. That's there, essentially, is linking material. However, it's not really the point of the film in any way. The point of the film is just to watch these two guys sit next to each other in a car or across each other at a table and exchange hilarious barbs and amazing impressions. Getting into explaining why it's so funny would involve me doing horrendous impressions of Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan, which I will not inflict on you right now, but I will just simply reiterate that it is an incredibly funny, joyous little romp. Eddie shouldn't really work. It should be kind of flat and boring to see these two guys just sort of talk and bicker and argue and crack jokes with one another, but because these guys are so talented and charming, and because Michael Winterbottom does such a great job of framing them within postcard shots of Italy and shots of food being prepared in a way that's never distracting, but sort of holds it together, all the improvisation together. It plays wonderfully well. It's probably just as enjoyable as the first movie, maybe slightly less strong, but not in a way that's distracting. It's probably one of the better and more successful comedy sequels that's ever been made in that sense. It's worth noting that both The Trip and The Trip to Italy were initially conceived as 6-part 30-minute series for the BBC, which Winterbottom then edited down to 90-minute features to distribute overseas. It was kind of a brilliant business decision in that this is a show that would have been successful in Britain and never been shown elsewhere, but because it's a movie, it comes out in theaters, and the cult audience that would appreciate it gets a chance to see it. The first film worked really, really well. You never would have known that it had been shortened. This one, slightly more awkward. There are some passages in the middle that feel very condensed, and it doesn't really end as much as it stops because it's trying to set up a third series that will hopefully happen. However, those are very mild complaints for a movie that's just purely joyful. It's worth seeing just to see these two guys trade their Michael Caine impression again, and also do Robert De Niro impressions, which are eerily accurate. It's a really, really fun movie, particularly if you're a fan of British comedy, and these two guys in particular. Certainly not for everyone, but if that sounds at all appealing, I promise it's probably the hardest you're going to laugh in theater all year, and is definitely worth checking out. So, The Trip to Italy, totally fun, great, great comedy. Go see it if you can. This has been Phil Brown, who has sadly, perhaps even tragically, has no rambling journey in Italy planned for his immediate future. Signing off for RealTimeRents.com.